Hello everybody, hope you're doing marvelously well. It is a Friday it's not Friday, it's Thursday at 11 a.m. And the reason why I say it's Friday was because every Thursday I actually film a Feedback Friday. We film it Thursday mornings for the Academy, where what we do is we listen to mixes that have been submitted and we do mix critiques. And then obviously that day we edit the video together and we put it up. So hello, hope you're all doing marvelously well. Thursdays is our usual time at 11. So thank you everybody that's aware of that and coming up. And I am just opening up this feed here. Here it is, so I can see your messages. Hey James, how are you? Hope you're doing marvelously well. So what I wanted to talk about, and I touched on it a little bit last night on Facebook Live and Instagram, was I had got an email from somebody, and I think it was they were a little on the younger side. There was somebody up and coming. And then I got a few more emails from people. Emails from people afterwards, saying a little older, saying very, very similar things, and they were quite disillusioned. They were saying they didn't really understand because they had somebody telling them that they shouldn't be dreaming of like these jobs that they want, like mixer or producer or engineer. And so I wanted to sort of talk about that. I wanted to share a little bit of my journey, because we find people that we identify with, and we are able to then we're able to like see their journeys and see what they're going through to help ourselves and mirror that kind of experience. So we have an incredible community here. Thank you ever so much, Max. I really appreciate it. Hey there, Sweaty. Hey, James. Hey, Kajatel. Hey, Tamar. Tamar. I hope you're all doing rather wonderfully well, rather marvelously well. So we have these communities. We have this community, and we're all here to help each other. And it's a wonderful kind of place, but I want to share with you my journey and why I think it's important to dream big. Firstly, this is really, really important. Those of you that have read like Malcolm Gladwell, Outliers, I know we've talked about that in the past. There's some really, really wonderful books here and learning things which aren't all sort of mumbo jumbo marketing stuff. There's a real prevalence of hardcore marketing going on at the moment. We were talking about it recently about a lot of YouTube channels now that are kind of copycat channels. They're able to take the information that everybody else do, but then do super slick, like black background and PowerPoint presentations. But ultimately, it's more about the marketing and less about the learning. And I've always sort of wanted to navigate that world where we're giving you true value. To me, it's less about like me pitching you, and more about creating a sense of community for this one goal, and this is the goal, is to help you get to a place where I have managed to get. The reason why you'll see all this stuff around me is because I've acquired these things that I always wanted as a kid by doing music for a living. I am not a professional marketing guy. You can go to allmusic.com, and I suggest you do this. Go to allmusic.com and type in my name and type in all your favorite guys and see what their credits are and how they've come to do this. I'm not knocking the professional marketing guys in any way, shape, or form. But ultimately, the reason why I do this is not to do a hypothetical, this is how you can be successful. but not based on anybody that's successful. I consider myself a success for one thing alone. I consider myself a success because I have made a living and I bought a house and I live in this beautiful area in Los Angeles. All of that came from doing music. That's the only way I've made a living, from doing music. Everything you see here is from music. The YouTube side came about 3 years ago, and I'm blessed to do it because I decided about 3 years ago that I saw a gap in something that was really important to me. A gap between, you know, the professional tutors and then guys like me that were professionally making music. And I felt like there needed to be a place in the middle where guys like me and all of my friends were able to give back. The Bob Marletts and the Ulrich Wildes and, you know, the Brad Woods and all these great guys, Bob Horn, able to give back and help people. Now, I cannot overstate it. Everything you see here, everything I own was bought and was put together from money I earned making music. So, what can I tell you? Well, I can tell you, and you know that from, if you ever go back to my very first video, it's pretty identical equipment. You know, I've acquired a couple more guitars and maybe a mic pre or two, but, oh, thank you. Somebody saying they enjoyed listening to the records I've made. That's very, very generous of you. So I find it's a big, big deal for me. Really, really, really important that we really important that we do this for the right reasons. I'm English, I'm British, I'm English, and I grew up with grandparents and parents and aunts and uncles that were very sort of old school and traditional. I don't know if that still exists, that kind of way. Hey, Dan. So please everybody, can you like and share and let everybody know that the video is gonna. Yes, I did. I didn't record the Thrills in Glasgow, but I did them. But I did work with them. So anyway, I just wanted to say. So I just wanted to let you know a little bit about my upbringing. My artist is asking what time to come in, and he's saying, is 1 okay? And I said yes. So there you go. Still working. I have an artist coming in. I just finished filming some stuff, and then I'm doing this live, and then I've got an artist coming in, and I'm making an album. And I had been doing some mix recalls for Ace Frehley's album. You know, it's the 3rd album I've done with him. And this is my life. I do YouTube in and around this, and it's very important that I share this with you, that this is I want to show you the reality of it. Anyway, so getting back to it. So I have this sort of traditional sort of British upbringing and very sort of, you know that world where, you know, you don't want to blow your own trumpet. You don't want to talk about yourself too much. And then I came to America, and, you know, hello there in India. And I had played Reading Rock Festival, and I played Roskilde, and I'd had a chart single, and, you know, in my band, and I had been in Melody Maker and NME, and I had owned a studio, and I'd recorded this band and that band, and I'd done all these things that, and I just sort of felt like I was starting again. So coming to America has really, really changed everything for me over the last 20 years. So it's made me refocused sort of like how I present myself. But all that you see around here came from me working in music, buying equipment from money I earned in music. The house that my family lives in, which is just over there, came from working in music. So let me tell you a little bit about myself. Firstly, I was born in Crookham Village, which is the nearest town is Fleet in Hampshire. Hello there in India. And we lived in a 2-bedroom, semi-detached bungalow, which was 640 square feet. And there was 5 of us. I'm the oldest child. I have a younger sister who's 2 years younger than me, and I have a younger brother who's 10 years younger than me. And it was my mother and father in 1 bedroom, my brother and I, 10 years apart, in another bedroom, and then there was a room called a box room, which literally was like a closet that we put a little bed in, and that was my sister's room. You basically opened the door, and there was a little kind of, it wasn't even a single, it was smaller than a single, and that was my sister's bedroom. And 640 square feet, and it was semi-detached. No upstairs. It was basically a kitchen, one bathroom, 2 bedrooms, and a tiny little lounge. And anyway, but I didn't feel poor. My father was a painter, an artist, and a sculptor, and he loved music. He loved classical music primarily, and I grew up listening to Brahms and Beethoven and Shostakovich and Mozart and all of the incredible greats. Please, everybody that's watching, please like and share. And let everybody know. So, so please, everybody, like and share so that YouTube knows that we've got this here. We didn't send out an email to this, and normally we have about 400 people on here because everybody on our email list comes here. And I know a lot of you have emailed me. I've had about 40 emails saying, please email me, but I had some advice here not to send out an email. Really, really terrible advice. Anyway, so just being really blunt, I'm really sorry that a lot of people are going to email me now and say, why didn't you, after I've got all these emails about it. It's the only thing I ever get emails about video notifications. So anyway, mistakes were made. So I really highly apologize. So please like and share and let everybody know. I thank you ever so much. Yeah, I know, John, I'm sorry. So anyway, so basically I started off in England, and you know my story. My dad bought me a night at the opera. You know, I've shared it a lot, and it's really, really important part of my story. But so I was saying, yes, I was. So I heard that I was 8 years old. He bought me the album when I was 8 years old. He told me it was worthy, it fit into that classical music world that we live in. And it was really wonderful of him to do that. And I don't know how much he thought about it. All I know is that it fit in beautifully with everything else I grew up in. Thank you ever so much, El Paul. I feel like what was wonderful and what was amazing about this was I was there in isolation in a time before the internet. So the reason why I want to share this story, hello there, hello all. The reason why I want to share this story is because I got those emails yesterday, and I got a lot of them. And they came from, like I said, from younger people and from people in their 45 and above, and they were saying the same thing. I've been told that I shouldn't dream big. There's somebody out there saying, don't dream big, just aim for the middle, set your sights low, or set your sights on an attainable goal, don't. And you know what? That is the biggest bunch of baloney I've ever heard. When I sat there as an 8-year-old kid, I opened up that album, and I looked at that album, and I wanted to be, I heard the music, I heard Brian May's guitar playing, I heard Roger Taylor's drumming, John Deacon's bass playing, and of course, Freddie Mercury's singing and songwriting and piano playing. So thank you, Darren. So basically, wanted that. That's what I wanted. I wanted in on that. I wanted to be a rock star. I didn't know what a rock star was. It wasn't about girls and drugs and partying. I just wanted to be in music, and I wanted to be in music that level. I wanted it to be that good. I wanted the music I made to be that good. And I pride myself on that. I work with big artists, independent artists, and everything at the moment. At the moment, I'm working with this guy called Dustin Thomas, who is a friend of Trevor Hall's. I did Trevor Hall's 2 albums, Chapter of the Forest and Carla. Go and listen to Chapter of the Forest. I will humbly say it is an amazing album. And why is it an amazing album? Because I got to work with an artist I really believed in, and I try to always believe in my artist, and I bring that positiveness, and we looked at it every single level to be the best it possibly could. And that's what I try to do. Not every artist is receptive to that. Lots of artists just want to sing it twice, put it together, and like comp it and edit it and auto-tune the schnizzle out of it. That's not who I like to work with, but it is like that. There are some artists like Trevor and Gavin James. You know Gavin James? I just worked with him a couple of days ago. Phenomenal singing. No auto-tuning, just good old-fashioned comping, finding the best moments, move on. Done. 3 or 4 takes, focus, direction, whatever. My point is like, I opened up that Queen album and I wanted to be in that. I wanted to be in that music at that level. So what was I doing? I was dreaming big. I wasn't dreaming for mediocrity. I wasn't going, oh, you know, I just want to like be an average engineer, producer, mixer guy that complains a lot and puts other people down. I don't want to be that. I want to be an inclusive person that is involved in an amazing community like we have here. That's what I want. I want people around me like that. That's why we have the Bob Marlettes and the Brad Woods and the Ulrich Wilds and of course Cameron Webb. That's the reason why they're all of those guys, you know, they're good. Glenn is not like that. He teases people about pushing and the stuff. I really don't think that. I think that is such a naive assumption. I'm very sorry, Darren. It's very naive to think that it's negative. What I see is people creating problems that aren't real. You know, putting up videos about problems that aren't real problems. Creating, like the whole high pass filter thing was a disaster. It has changed and ruined people's mixing, telling them not to high pass because it looked different on a plugin. Oh my God. My point is like, it's all about my hair. Oh yeah. Well, that's because I'm graying, you know? So anyway, the point is like, this is a community for supporting each other. This should be about, this should be all about community. This should be about community building. This should be about all of us looking after each other. So getting back to the point, I was a kid. What did I want? I was dreaming big. I was dreaming big. This is what you need to do. You need to dream big, because if you dream for the middle and you lower your expectations, and another thing is, yes, you are special. I saw another one going, you're not special. You're just like everybody else. Stop thinking you're special. Don't listen to people that tell you you're special. You know what? You are. You are special because you have your own individual experiences. You bring something unique. You bring something unique. If you grew up in a little town in Minnesota, or grew up wealthy in London, or New York, or Paris, or anything in between, whether you're in Hong Kong, or in India, or Cambodia, or Vietnam, or Malaysia, it doesn't, Australia, New Zealand, Germany, Netherlands, France, Scotland, Wales, Ireland. It doesn't matter where you brought up. It doesn't matter if you were brought up poor, middle class, rich, or anything in between. Canada. It doesn't matter. You have a unique experience. You have loved. You have been loved, and you can share those feelings. So yes, you are special. You are special. When somebody puts up videos going, "Don't think you're special. Don't let people tell you you're special." You are, because what separates the great artists and the not so great artists is that negative thought process, is that BS attitude of you're not special. It just comes from anger. It comes from people like putting each other down. You know what? It's the uniqueness is to work hard, have your dreams, aim for your dreams, aim for them, and work hard. Bring your passion level up and work hard to those dreams. Because I humbly believe with hard work and dedication you can succeed. And when I'm getting these emails from people saying, oh, I was told, and this guy said that, don't dream big, that's only for lucky people. It's not like that. You make your own luck. I'm telling you, I grew up in a little tiny area knowing absolutely nobody and nothing about the music industry whatsoever. And I now live, an English guy, a British guy living in Los Angeles, in the hills, with lots and lots of equipment, finishing up an Ace Frehley record, starting a Dustin Thomas, about to bring the Matthews over, a band I managed, got signed and produced and co-write with, bringing them over for a major label deal to make an album. All of this has happened. I've been on major label bands. I've made records with Aerosmith, with The Frayed, blah, 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 you name it, James Blunt, everything. I make current records, just worked with Gavin James, worked on his last album, working on his new one, blah, blah, blah. I've done Conrad Sewell, you name it. I've owned studios where everybody's in. It doesn't matter. Don't let somebody tell you that you're not special, because you are. Your uniqueness of who you are and your experiences are what makes something great. Dream big. If you want something, go for it, because you might end up being an engineer, mixer on a bunch of big records. Maybe you wanted to be the world's biggest producer and biggest songwriter, but you only, and I'm joking, only ended up being massively successful in another thing. You don't get there by aiming for the middle. You aim for the top. You dream big and you work hard for it. And, I'm not Rick Rubin. I make a great living. I make music, but I'm not Rick Rubin. But did I want to be Roy Thomas Baker? Of course I did. I wanted to be Roy Thomas Baker. I wanted to be Brian May. And have I made $1 billion like Queen probably turned over $3 or $4 billion? No, I haven't. But if I had aimed to be, I just want to be an engineer, and just, in a local studio, if I'd aimed there, I wouldn't have even have made it. I got into this to be the best I possibly could be, which is why I still practice guitar every day, why I still try to play on every song I work on, why I still write songs, why I still watch videos like you do, and I learn from other people. All of this stuff is really important to me. It's really, really important to me. And I am married with a mortgage and with a family and all the other kinds of fun stuff. I have young children. I do this. No, I don't drink or smoke. If I drank or smoked, I wouldn't have any energy to do any of this stuff, and this is really, really good. Are there more bigger dreams today? Yes, there are. So could you sacrifice nerds only to work with someone who's unprofessional but talented? Happens all the time. Professional is definitely a sliding scale. I would say people that are lecturing you and telling you you're doing it wrong are not professionals. They're self-proclaimed experts, but you're never going to get me telling you you've done something wrong. Has the music scene changed in the 70s, 80s, and 90s? Who do I watch? Which other YouTube channels? I tend to watch less music-orientated channels these days. I don't know if it is harder, Billy. I don't think it is. It used to be entirely feast or famine. Basically, it meant, that, Rick Beato's channel is I'm going to pause on that thing, Billy. Rick Beato's channel is a gem. And I've recently got into Adam Neely's channel because he's I like the high level musicality of Rick Beato and Adam Neely, because they know what they're talking about, and they're also on a much, much higher level. I think the point is, like, all of you watching that are engineers, producers, and mixers, you could all start an engineering, producing, and mixing YouTube channel. In fact, do it. Hey Diego, start your own channels. Do it. Because the information is easily out there. It's so, it's so easy now to and that's what the newer channels are doing. They're able to watch my videos and everybody else's, put them all together, and then do here's how to EQ the low end, a kick drum and a bass video. You can do that quite easily. In fact, I encourage you to do it. Get your own followings, grow together. Well, John, you just have to get the video out there and then You know, it's like most of the guys that are doing it from a marketing perspective. You know, they know all the marketing techniques. They're making very slick videos, and they're professional marketing guys. That's where they're coming from. So you can do that. In fact, I encourage you to do that. I'm good, Jeff. How are you? I encourage everybody, because this is a business where I think we all need to get out there and collaborate and do stuff together. You've seen me, I collaborate with everybody. I really firmly believe in it. I'm trying to get this positive message out here that you can be successful. You do bring special, unique talents to everything that you do, and you should dream big, because without that, without tapping in on your own positive uniqueness, and without dreaming big, you will not succeed for the big stuff. Being in the middle, oh, you're nice, you're in Tamar's in the Bahamas. That's very nice. Yeah, send us tickets, we'll come and visit. So the uniqueness you need to tap into your uniqueness. You need to tap into your specialities. And I know that you'll be great. So there's 117 people watching now. Thank you ever so much. Please like and share so that YouTube knows that the video is out. That would be really wonderful. Hi there, Carlos in Portugal. Hope you're all doing marvelously well. So please like and share. I see we have 52 likes. That's great. Eric has just arrived with his Kim Jong-il on haircut. We have a North Korean dictator working with us now. Would you mind getting me a coffee in that cup over there, the owl cup? Yeah. So what are we learning here? We're learning that I didn't become successful in the music industry by aiming for the middle. I wanted to be Brian May. Please like and share. I see 58 likes and 119 people, 119 people watching. So please do me a favor and just hit that like button. That would be amazing. Hello there in Finland. Look, at 59 years old, you can still go for it. Please like and share. So you're up to 69 people here, 119 watching. Please like and share. That'd be absolutely fantastic. What guitar is it? It is a Yamaha. It's called a Revstar, and the model is the RSP20CR. That's 20. RSP20CR. It is one of my favorite guitars I've ever owned. It is set insanely low action, but still. How do I like my coffee? I like my coffee just with cream, no sugar. Be a big dream to work with me. Well, you know, fly us over to the Bahamas or fly over here. Either works. Yeah, age is nothing but a number. It really is. Because now, so going back to Billy, and this is a good question. So Billy said it was easier in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. It wasn't. It definitely wasn't easier, but it was totally different. It was a different way of doing things. Now, if you want to get a major label deal, you're going to have to play the game more than ever before, which means you're going to have to write pop songs. You're going to have to write songs that will specifically get on the radio. And when I mean pop, it doesn't have to be Rihanna. It doesn't have to be The Weeknd. It can still be rock, but it has to be a pop tune. What does that mean? Pop means, what does pop mean? It means popular. No, there wasn't more opportunities. There wasn't. I was in the industry from the late 80s, the 90s, thank you, and 90s and the 2000s. There wasn't more opportunities. There wasn't. The industry has completely changed. It's totally changed, but now there's far more music being made than ever before. There's far more revenue being created for independent artists than ever before. If you remember the 90s really well, you would turn on the television and the commercials were playing either huge bands that were paid a huge amount of money or commercial music houses that wrote the music for the commercials. That is a fact. I had friends in commercial music houses that were all multi-millionaires and ruled. They used to get demo fees to write the music. They used to get a kill fee if it got to a certain stage. Guys were making $1,000, $1,500 a song for not being used. It was a wholly, completely different business. Now when you turn on and watch TV, what do you see? You see independent artists, you see pictures going out massively to everybody. It's a completely different business. There's more people making money than ever before. There is. It is completely revolutionized. I like where we are now. I really do. I really, really do. I think we're in a much better place, but that much better place requires a huge work ethic and the ability to dream big, to think big, to go for the biggest thing and not just aim for mediocrity. You need to think big and aim big. Don't aim for mediocrity, because mediocrity is where most people live. Yeah, exactly. Somebody's saying here that they hear songs in TV commercials they don't hear anywhere else. So I think, let's take some questions here. Let's have a look at what people are saying. Is it possible to live out of making music even without not doing things completely pop? Yes, it is. I haven't put the D19 to work yet. Can I say who got me the D19? Try some chocolate milk in your coffee? Yeah, maybe. My 3-year-old drinks chocolate milk. I don't know if I want to take hers. Yes, you can make a living in music. Outside of it. But you need to be strategic. You need to find good people to work with. You really do. I don't have any experience personally with Taxi. I have opinions on it, but I don't have any experience with it. I don't have any music or any of the people I work with in music on Taxi. You need to find people that you can work with. I work with a lot of artists with their songs, and we do placements and things like that, and it takes a long time to build real relationships with people to get your music in there. There's a lot of opportunist companies springing up, building big, huge catalogs, but most of them don't have any relationships. They're trying to get your songs first of all. Watch the John Skinner's video on that to get a better idea of it, and you'll see what I mean. So there's 126 of you on now. Thank you ever so much. Please like and share so we can let people know. We only have 78 likes, so if we could get the 78 likes to be 129, that would be absolutely incredible. And that way we would more people would know we're online. It seems like it's hard to make money these days. Not trying to be negative, just saying. How did you make money before? I mean, I made money before playing in club bands and covers bands in the north of England. That was the only place that I could make money playing music out. In the south where I grew up, there was no live scene whatsoever that paid. So that hasn't disappeared from England. It wasn't there in the south at all. It was only there in the north. So I'm not sure where you are, Billy, but my perception is it hasn't changed. Yeah, I've worked on tons of stuff in that kind of genre. In Texas, I mean, there's still covers bands, gigs that I know in there. I mean, that was really the only way that in England, in Britain in particular, but in England, the only way that you could make money was huge record deal, 1 in a million chance, or playing in covers bands. You couldn't get money, you couldn't get songs into film or TV or commercials or anything. That was only for people that did that professionally, or you got a record deal. That was it. There was no middle ground. Now there is tons of middle ground. There is tons of middle ground. If you're a musician and you follow guys like me, teach you how to record music, you can record other musicians. So suddenly now you're a guitar player, or Billy the bass player, you're a bass player. And you can also be a local producer and have your own studio and help people out and make some money that way. You can write and record songs for film and TV, for commercials. You could set up a YouTube channel. You could do all kinds of stuff to increase your revenue all around. It can be done. And if you live in a place like Texas, which is not like LA, where you could spend $200,000 and get a really nice house rather than $1 million to get like a startup house here, you can make a living. That's why a lot of people move to Nashville, because there's less work here for them now in LA, so they go to Nashville, they sell their $2 million house, You know, they sell their $2 million house and they pocket well over $1 million. No, I have an official manager, Jeff. I'm managed by Bennett Kaufman at Patriot Management. So you can look up, or you can look up BK Management, BK Entertainment. He manages me and Chris Algie and Don Gilmore and a bunch of other people. Neil Avron as well. You know, lots of really great guys. We're all managed by him. Dave Bassett, the songwriter and producer, is also managed by him. Chris Seafried. So we're all managed by Bennett Kaufman. And it took me a long time to get a great manager like that. You know, that's another part of the process. So anyway, dream big, think big, go for what you want. Yes, I can play piano, Kai. I play drums as well, and anything with strings. Not really violin. I tried a couple of times. Strings and not a bow. How about that? Although I could probably play stand-up bass. I have a few times, but you couldn't hire me as a stand-up bass player. You know, playing classical bass, contrabass, stand-up bass, whatever you want to, double bass, whatever you want to call it is a whole different. I mean, I can help you get a record deal if you have an incredible voice. You know, and you know how to do this tomorrow. It's as simple as that. What's the best new plugin out there, in your opinion? Hello there in France. Do I play live anymore? Am I classically trained? I don't play live anymore often. Just randomly when people ask me if I could come down and play with them. You know. Tips on recording violin. I use a small diaphragm. Traditionally, the greatest one for that was a KM56. Hello there in Greece. You know, I'm a huge Greece fan. Huge Greece fan. It's, you know, which Waves bundle? Well, if Matt's still watching, he can put all of the Waves links below. There's deals going on, so maybe you could do that. Honestly, whatever you can afford. I really, really like the API ones. Everybody's freaking out and loving the Sheps plugin. It's really wonderful. Ribbons can work well with violins. I will tell you though, from a classical and jazz perspective, that all of the classical and jazz musicians I've recorded, from like, you know, the Kronos Quartet to, you know, you name it. When we did X Factor, we did quite a few orchestra dates on that, a lot of orchestral stuff. That was all done with mainly Neumann mics, KM56s, 53s, 54s for violins and violas. Then they'll go large diaphragm 47s or 67s on double basses and cellos. Now we're talking about very expensive studios with massive mic collections, but it's definitely a guide for using small or large diaphragm mics. Does YouTube make much of a difference in your ability to contact new clients for production business? No, I don't get much work from YouTube specifically. YouTube is definitely all about giving back to people. You know, it's more about giving back to people than anything else. It's not about cashing in. It really isn't. There's the link to the Waves plugin, so you can check them out. Waves are always doing really cool sales. We've been keeping up with them. Thanks, Don. Look, here's a good example. Dreaming big, working hard. Here I am. I'm playing a triplet, descending chromatically. And obviously ascending chromatically. Why am I telling this? Well, I'm doing that while I'm talking. It's interesting. I was talking to Bob Marlette the other day, who's also friends with, you know, John 5, and we were talking about how John and I said, you know, perhaps the Paradol as well. You know, he said the whole time I'm talking to you guys, all I hear in the background is diddly dwiddly 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 dwiddly, and it's just like that's what we do. Hello there in Russia. What's your question? Oh, well, thank you. I'm really glad to be able to help. I grew up listening to a lot of Tchaikovsky and, dude, and Khachatourian, and a huge Russian composer fan. It's like, isn't that one of the most incredible things about European classical music? It's just like, there's such a wealth of it for our ears. You know, if you can give yourself a few minutes a day to expose yourself to classical music, it's just huge. Absolutely huge. It's such an amazing thing to do. And I know, having that arts background that my father gave me, I have done orchestral music. Am I good at it? No. If you're a jazz player, you have to play jazz. If you're a classical composer, you have to compose classical music. I think guys like Frank Zappa did amazing chamber music. Insanely talented. Scott Chandler, yeah, there's a lot of entries. They're going all to Music Gateway, to John Skinner. How do you think different do you think of a choir people would sound if recorded all together individually in dubs? It's much better when they sing together, because they're using each other's ears and they're working off each other. Yeah, the song contest is for Music Gateway. They're giving some like Rode microphones away and a bunch of other stuff, and they're going to choose a song or songs to go up on their platform. They're going to license the artist and license the song. And John Skinner runs a very successful licensing company, and we got to interview him. I'm sure Matt can put links to that up underneath. Please like and share. It's up at the moment. We'll put a link to it. So yeah, there's only 87 likes, 128 people on. Can you please like and share? That would be absolutely wonderful. And we'll put that link underneath the video as well. Hey, Tron Roper. Yeah, lots of bands do stuff without click. I think when you're a great rock band or a great band, you don't need to record with a click. No jazz bands record with clicks. No orchestras record with clicks. It just means you're a great musician. It doesn't mean that you can't record with a click, though. There's no superiority in recording with or without a click. It's about what do you want. That's the world that I live in, honestly. The world I live in is like, and I did a whole video on this, and it's a really good discussion point, is there's no right way or wrong way to do anything. It's like, it's just what's best. What we should be doing is learning such a massive skill set, like a massive, massive skill set, and being able to do so many multiple things. You know, that's a big, big deal. You don't want to be just the guy or girl that only knows how to do EDM and then not be able to record, you know, a sax player and a vocal. You don't want to be the guy or girl that only knows how to throw up a stereo mic in the middle of the room and then goes, well, that's how they used to do it in jazz. It's like, you know what I mean? You want to grow your skill set. When I was in England in the late 80s and early 90s, I used to DJ. I DJ'd, and I did dance music as well as playing guitar and playing in bands. When I moved to LA in October of 95, 96, I started doing hair conferences, and I was DJing, playing Left Field and Orb and all of that stuff, and you know, Chemical Brothers and everything. I was playing all of that in doing DJ sets at hair conferences and fashion conferences, and I was DJing. So I've DJed and I've done the music. We used to have ADATs, we'd have tons and tons of sequencers, and we trigger it all from SMPTE, and I would do program stuff. I did EDM, if you want to say. I did EDM when it was still dance music and trip hop and everything back in England 20 plus years ago. So for me, it's like, I've done that, and I still have those elements and those abilities to do it. You want to be that guy or girl. You want to be somebody that has many, many different facets. So for me, it's like, yeah, I could do dance music if that's what I only wanted to do. And there are certain tracks that I do that incorporate all of that stuff. But for me, it's like, you see me shredding away on guitar. You know, I want to maintain a high level of guitar playing, high level of piano playing. Drumming needs a lot of work. Piano playing needs a bit of work, but quite a bit. But drumming needs a lot of stuff. Thanks, everybody. Hey, there's lots of Academy members here. If you haven't already, please go to producelikeapro.com and sign up for the Academy. Try it out. It would be absolutely wonderful to have you in here. A lot of what we're doing here, we do every single week inside of the Academy. There's a lot of exclusive stuff in there. A couple of weeks ago, we did a full drum breakdown with Cameron Webb, showing every technique he did. A lot of it learned from Terry Date, so a lot of really cool things in there. So if you haven't yet, go and try out the Academy. You can get in there for a year, or you can get in there monthly. It's absolutely wonderful. Please go and do it. Thank you, Trollstein. Yes. Can I teach you to drive? Nah. You don't want me to. All I know is music. I don't care what it's designed to do. I want to know what it can do. The Apollo 13 quote. Yes. That's. Thank you very much, Jeff. So please, everybody, like and share. I see we have 125 people on and 100 likes. So let's see if we can get that up a little bit. I really want to plug this guitar in and shred a little bit. Do we have a longer cable?
Yeah.
I know. Thank you. I do need to get some sleep because basically I've had the flu. I'm asthmatic, and the great thing about living in Los Angeles, I am plugging it in. The great thing about living in Los Angeles is I. Oh no, leave it back up. It was great where it was. I can control the volume. I did a blog on white noise mixing. You should check it out. Ultimately, white noise mixing is a way to get frequencies to sound level. That doesn't mean you're going to get a good mix. It just means you're going to get like frequencies to sound level, be it the same volume. It doesn't necessarily constitute a good mix. I don't really honestly know. I don't know if I'd ever be a situation where I would advocate it, but definitely try it if you want. So what I've got here is I've got the guitar, I've got the tone all the way off, and I'm in the middle position. Pink noise or white noise? Yeah. So as I was saying, I've been ill for the last few days, so I've barely been sleeping, but unfortunately I still have to work. I've got lots and lots of work on, so that's why I look a little worn out. How did I meet my assistant, Eric?
Yes.
How do we meet? Tell them the journey. Yeah, it's a good idea. How do you become an intern to become an assistant to become an engineer?
Well,
move forward.
Okay.
Bring up a chair or something.
Yeah, let me
It's a good one. Great question.
I actually found that email the other day too.
You did? What was the email? I don't remember any of this.
It was.
He's been with us for 3 years now, a little bit over.
So, I was in school and I had a class that said that was teaching us about just finding positions, getting jobs in the industry today. And they were focusing on film actually, but they told a story of like a bunch of people that sent resumes.
Which school?
Citrus College.
Citrus, right.
So.
But you went to Recording Connection as well.
I did. I went there first, and then I just wanted to keep learning. Because I knew going through Recording Connection, they didn't teach me everything. It's only a year.
Right.
And there's so much to learn. I mean, you're saying yourself, you're still learning. So it's like, right. I wanted to keep learning. I just barely got into thick of knowing what a condenser was, knowing what a dynamic mic was, you know. So I went to Citrus, and they were.
What kind of studio were you in that you were interning in? What do they have? What kind of gear?
That I'd say the more pricey mics they had were the AKG 414s. Everything else was like 57s. They had a Trident 65 S console.
Those are fun. That's good.
That was really cool, actually.
Yeah.
I love Tridents now because that was the first one I worked on. So yeah, basically, I got from that class. It basically just taught me that I need to get myself out there. I need to just email a bunch of people. What's the worst that can happen? You know. So I was just like, yeah, why not? I did it. I googled LA producers, and funny enough, yours was the first that came up. And
Yay, I'm #1 in Google search in Los Angeles.
but
Woo!
what's really funny is, I emailed maybe 10 people, and I was thinking, oh, Warren, this guy, he obviously has credits. He has, like, he's not gonna have time for, someone that's just barely in school. All these other guys were.
Fun, can you find that email?
Yeah, I can find it. I have.
I don't remember any of the exchange. This is. Thanks for asking this question. Who asked this question? Who thumbed down? Oh, I don't mind. Please like and share. This is really good. This is like how to get into the music industry. So basically, so how many people answered you out of the 10?
Just you.
Just me?
That's what's funny is all these other guys had they were barely starting out, producer mixer guys. They didn't really have any known credits. They were at home studios, so I was thinking I have a better shot with these guys rather than
Really?
someone like you.
Did you hear that? I'm actually astounded. Let's start that again. You emailed
10 people. I emailed
He
a lot.
emailed
of people.
10 people.
A lot of people.
Right.
And just you were the only one that replied. Well, actually, you know what? I take that back. There was one other person. He was, him. I forgot his name. He's in Texas. He's he did YouTube. He did.
Oh, one of my old friends, Tim Palmer.
Yes, Tim Palmer. And
Yep.
so I thought that's
Two English guys. Two English guys responded to him.
with great credits, and I'm just thinking these guys aren't gonna reach out to me. Like, why would they? Funny enough, you guys are the only ones that did. So I mean that was awesome. But yeah,
I just think. I don't think we think particularly. Hey Tim. I don't think we. I know Tim really, really well. I don't think we have any particular airs and graces and belief that we know any more than anybody else. As you get older, you realize the more you the more you know, the less you know.
yeah,
That's the great dichotomy. Really, is like I realize that I really don't know very much, and then I watch Rick Beato's channel and Adam Neely, who I'm becoming a huge fan of. And I'm late on the Adam Neely thing. I'd seen a couple of his videos, but I just last night watched like 22 in a row. So I couldn't sleep, so I was coughing all night. So I just watched a bunch of Adam Neely. What I liked about his videos is like, just like Rick's, he doesn't play down. He just is like, here it is. This is sophisticated. This is high level information. And everybody laps it up. And it's inspiring because, I want to, I want to get my jazz chops together, and I don't get to play jazz anymore because we're doing rock and roll music, and just jazz and classical music is still what inspires me. But if you're into punk rock, then you're going to want to know how to play like speed metal, and not necessarily. And if you're into folk, you probably want to get into country. If you're a guy that's just going go. You want to maybe find out, how do they do that? The point is like you want to go that next step. When I was a kid, I first band I heard was Queen. Started off pretty freaking high, and then but it did spark me into ELO and prog and King Crimson, and I'd already had jazz and classical as a background, so it all made perfect sense. And then when I got to like 13, I discovered the Clash, and then I had this moment of like punk rock for a couple of years.
yeah.
And John Lennon died when I was a kid as well. When John Lennon died, I went back and discovered the Beatles. I got into the Beatles after all of the other bands. Yeah. So anyway, I'd like to find that email. Do you know where it is?
Yeah.
Can you find it easily?
I saved it. Yeah.
I want to see what I responded.
Yeah.
Because it might be really embarrassing. Put me on the spot here. Can you find it? So he's going to find the original email. Who asked this question? This was a great question. Yeah, Adam, Rick, please keep watching me. No, I've never met. Let me tell you while he's finding that email. I'm a big kid. That's what I am. I always tell people when they ask me how old I am. I'm 975. It's my Doctor Who reference for the day. Please like and share. You asked it, Jeff. Thank you very much. So let me tell you my Brian May story. So Look, those that follow you and know my resume know I've worked with lots of big rock stars. I mean, Ace Frehley was here just a couple of days ago finishing up his album. Worked with Aerosmith. Steven Tyler sat here next to me where Eric's sitting, and we mixed an album, and we did vocals, and we did guitar overdubs with Joe and everything, you know. We have, you know, I've done so much stuff here, and I've been really blessed to work with, yeah, Joe's fantastic. Joe has a good heart, and Joe is one of those guys that gets people started. You know, him and Graham start people off in this industry, and Joe's actually got some really good high-level stuff as well. He keeps people going as well. Okay, so you got the original email?
Yep, and it doesn't have your replies.
Why not?
It just saved, I don't know why, it just saved my replies to you. But I know you're the one that replied because I replied directly to you saying thank you so much for getting back to me.
So what was your first email that you wrote? So this is Eric's first email. You everybody got patience for this? And I'll read it out. It says, "Hey Warren, my name is Eric Gonzalez." That's him. "I'm an audio engineer in the making." There you go. So he's being humble. "I'm 20 years old." Wow, this is nearly 4 years ago.
Yeah.
"Still in school to major in audio technology and just received my certification as an audio engineer." So even though he's got his certification as an audio engineer, he doesn't say that he is an audio engineer. He's not pretending that he's already a genius at age 20. We like that. "I'm currently looking to trying to find my way into the music industry, let alone recording studios as an intern." So he's not going like, I get emails usually like, you know, I want to come in and hang out and watch you and learn, which just makes me feel like it's going to be really uncomfortable that somebody wants to be in there. I want to pick your brains. I want to learn from you. He's saying, I want to work for you as an intern. "Although I've found internships, they haven't coincided with my passion." He goes, "I've interned for records for a year, but never set foot in a studio." Did you really intern with them?
I did, for a year.
I never knew that.
Yeah, it was cool, but it was
Punk rock
office.
label, very famous punk rock label in it.
Yeah, it was all office work. What I wanted to do was be in the music, not behind a computer doing, you know, marketing and stuff.
"I've interned doing sound design for video game apps and helped make music for commercials like Miller Lite, which was great fun. But that soon ended, unfortunately. One thing I really want, and I've always searched for, but was never lucky enough to find, is that one studio that records bands, capital letters, that records perfectly beautiful performance of groups and musicians if they ever need overdubs later." Did you really write this?
I did.
We should send this to Matt Diamante. Send this to Matt Diamante. Because this will be like not necessarily a formula, but just like a positive email. "There's a lot I can say about what I wish for and dream for, but getting down to it, I was just hoping if by any chance there'll be room for to intern for you. I know it's a long shot and you've got to be busy to deal with helpers and may even already have one. But is there any chance if you need any help at all, whether it's just setting up microphones, setting up drums, bringing up a session or demo, or just watching over the front door, taking phone calls and running out to get food?" That's good. Because that means like, oh, okay, cool. I can treat him like a dog, and he can. Because the point is like, when you're interning, you've got to get to a position where you're generating money for somebody. Then they pay you. Because otherwise, it's kind of an inconvenience for me to stop and talk to somebody and show them how to do something. Because I'm working 1,000,000 hours. So if you're saying like, I will just whatever, you want me to sweep the floor, you want me to run and get the food, I'm there. Is there any assistance needed? I wish to be the help. I don't expect to get a job or to be paid to make connections. Wow. Did anybody help you write this?
No, this was all me. I mean, yeah, this is what I wanted to do. I knew what I wanted, and this is.
Wow.
It just came off. It just came out.
All I'm looking for is to learn how to be a great audio engineer by the best. Well, sorry, you ended up with me. Any little thing I could pick up from watching you at work, anything that could help me mold to becoming one of the best audio engineers will be there, would be beyond words of gratitude. If by any chance I can learn from you an internal help, please contact me either by email or phone. I've attached my resume to this email. Thank you for reading. Wow. Wow. Yeah, everybody's saying impressive letter. Isn't that? I don't remember it because it's 4 years ago. 3 years ago.
3 and some change.
wasn't it? Where does it say 2015?
Yeah, 2015 December.
So it'll be 3 years ago in December.
Mm.
So we keep saying 4 years. It's 3 years.
Well, 4 years in December. Because well, no, wait, I'm
2018.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, because you keep telling me you've
Yeah.
been over 3 years. It's over 2 years. Ah.
What?
Here comes Izzy.
Hello.
Say hi to Izzy, everybody.
Hi, Izzy.
People from Japan here. Ever worked with Robin Ford? No, I haven't. Come on, wave.
Oh gosh. Okay.
Oh gosh. This is Izzy.
Hi guys.
Please like and share for Izzy. How about that? Please give us a thumbs up, like and share for Izzy. Danny Drum Lesson says hi. We got 2 likes for Izzy. 3 likes. Keep going.
There we go.
Greetings from India. Hello there in India. Hi Izzy, says Tim. So you guys are getting an inside look, and you can see why. And I apologize for the beginning of my my video. It was a little bit like I was a little annoyed. I was annoyed because I'm getting emails from people saying, you know, somebody's told me that I shouldn't be dreaming and that I should just be aiming for the middle, and it's only about hard work. It is about hard work. Of course it is. Hello there, Paul in London. Of course it's about hard work, but it's about passion and dreaming and thinking big. You're not going to be successful and make a living at this aiming for the middle or aiming for the bottom rung. You have to. Eric was like, I'm willing, his email to me was like, I'm willing to do whatever it takes. I'll intern, I'll mop the floor, I'll run out and get food because I want to be one of the best audio engineers. That's what he said. And he didn't, the only time he was complimentary to me, and I mean this in a positive way, was like, you know, said something like, you want to learn from the best, but he wasn't like overly like, oh my God, man, you're amazing. He didn't do that and make me feel like, because when people are, it's a little bit like, you know that phrase when somebody says to you, how do you know when somebody's lying? You know that one? How do you know when somebody's lying? When they start with the phrase, to be honest. You know what I mean? So if I get an email like, hey Warren, you're absolutely amazing. I love everything you're doing. You're just a genius. If I get that, I'm like, you don't think that. You're trying to flatter me, and it just doesn't work. And being so English, I'm all like, I sort of like want to take a shower. You know, what I want is peers. I want people to, just, I want them to go, yeah, blowing smoke, says Paul. Well, Paul's in London, so he understands what I mean. But I do want people to say, I like what you do. I want to learn from you. I understand your passion. I want people to identify with who I am. Of course. But as Paul was saying, blowing smoke isn't going to help. But we're going to, yes, we don't do that well, Paul, with compliments. We do well with the compliments when they're based on, I love that recording you did with that band. I think is really talented. It's like, you know, we're doing some stuff in the academy at the moment, and we have 3 different girl singers that we're mixing. There's Kaden Kashmir, who is like a teenage, I think she was 15 when she did it, singer. Piano vocal with some strings and acoustic guitar. We have an absolutely amazing singer-songwriter called Katie Ferrara, who is one of the most unique voices. And then we have Little Empire with Lily Lewis singing. And these are these 3 absolutely phenomenal singers. And the productions are all really, really good. I produced them all. However, why are they really, really good? Because the artist is really, really good. I saw somebody recently who I admire post hundreds of photos of their career with lots of famous musicians. And it's great. I like to take pictures with the artists I work with. Hello, Englishman in New York. But the reality is like, their talent is their talent. I'm associated with them. But let's be honest, nobody buys an Aerosmith record because I worked on it. Nobody has ever bought an Aerosmith album because my name was attached to it. Nobody bought a Frey record, those first 2 albums, because I worked on it. They didn't. They bought it because the Frey are insanely talented, and those first 2 albums have like 3 or 4 singles each on them. The first album had How to Save a Life, which downloaded 4 million copies in the first year alone. And now it's like up to God knows how much, 6, 7, 8 million copies. The second album had You Found Me, another 4 million plus downloaded single. They wrote those songs. The thing I did was capture the recordings and maybe help steer them a little bit. You know, it's about the artists. Our job, done at its best, is to capture it. And as Dave Jordan always said, and I know I've said this many, many times, sometimes your job, that's a good, like a really good photographer, like a good cinematographer. As Dave Jordan would say to me, he said, sometimes you've got to get in there. You've got to rewrite the songs. Oh, I need to do a bit of business here for a second. Hey, Adam Ayen, the mastering engineer.
Yeah.
Adam needs all of the rough mixes of Ace's record that they sent,
Okay.
because he needs to know how the fades are.
Okay.
So we need to send him that. Could you hit him up? Could you call Gateway and let him know that they're coming? Because he's texting me. So I just love playing this guitar. So once more, it's a Revstar, Yamaha Revstar. We're going to take that email. Would you forward it to Matt? And we're going to put it in a blog. Yeah, it was great with Eric. No, Ace used my Marshall. It's a 50-watt JMP. And we drove it with, can you throw me the Noble? The Noble, the green pedal. Shout out for this pedal. The two main pedals we've been using, and also the Echo, the white Echo. The two main guitar pedals I've been using a while, and just for Ace's guitar sound, are this, driving the amp. So it's a Noble ODR1, sorry. I first heard about these because of Tim Pierce. If you don't follow, oh, that's another channel I follow, and another person I consider an amazing mentor is Tim Pierce. So, yeah, definitely if you haven't got one of these and you're a guitar player, you're seriously missing out. I am actually designing an overdrive pedal with a very good friend of mine. So that will be coming out. And then the other magic piece, which is also a big part of Joe Perry's sound when we did the last album, is the Carl Martin Echo Tone. So this is these are like two secret weapons. Not that they're secret because I tell you about them, but these are what get used mainly, and we use them a lot with the Marshall JMP. The other thing we do, and it really depends, with Ace, we went backwards and forwards on it. But the other thing that we do quite a lot is we use the Tone Tubby cab, especially on me. It's difficult with other guitar players because they like a certain sound of the Marshall. I didn't get the old text pick, but thank you for reminding me what it was called. T-Rex make great pedals as well. Now with I get a lot of oh, so they're Dunlop. Is that what Brendan was using? Brendan Small, is that what he was using? Fender Evil Twin. Oh, okay, thanks. So it's a Dunlop. Can you email me that so I don't forget? I'll forget. Because we're going to go on for a little while longer than the usual hour, because Dustin texted me and said he wasn't going to be here till 1. So we're going a little bit later. I do have about 100,000 emails to go through. So Anyway, yeah, thank you very much. Thank you. Good night. So please like and share. If you're not an Academy member, thank you. If you're not an Academy member yet, join the Academy. It's only going to get better and better and better. Mixes, loads more mentors coming up inside of it. It's pretty freaking awesome. So, I think another thing, going back to Paul, both the Pauls, the whole British thing, and this was my father. My father was quite a quiet man and very misunderstood by lots of people because he didn't speak much. But when he did talk, he talked about classical music and great art and Leonardo da Vinci and Michelangelo and Caravaggio, and he went to Wimbledon, which is one of the Wimbledon, Goldsmiths, Chelsea. I think it's three, or is there a fourth university? He's one of the three great art schools in England, one of the three best, arguably, in the world. And so he was an amazing artist, and he was all about great literature, great art and architecture, music, you name it. And that's what I grew up with. However, he wasn't a musician. And you don't need to come from a musical family to be musical. It's another thing about dreaming big and stuff like that. Somebody quoted the other day, and it was actually in one of Dave Pensado's videos. Somebody said, because Dave was interviewing somebody, and they were talking about how they both came from musical families. And somebody left this comment, which I don't think was trolling, but they left this comment, and I under-related to it. They said, I'm tired of everybody telling me that they came from a musical family. And I think what they were trying to say, because I always try to look for the good in people, what they were trying to say was like, they didn't want to feel like there had to be music in their blood just to be able to work in music. Because you know what? That is absolute crap. If you remember specifically, remember U2's story? Remember Adam Clayton couldn't tune his bass for years? He was the bass player. He is the bass player in U2. He would talk about it openly, that the Edge would tune his bass for him. But he played bass on those tracks, and his feel is part of the sound of that band. The point is like, I'm not saying you don't have to be musical and tune your bass. Of course you should learn how to tune your bass. But my point is there's so much more to it. You don't have to have a great artist, parent in order to be able to paint. You don't have to have... You just need that passion, and you need to dream big and aim for it and work hard for your dreams. That's really what it's all about. And you have to be humble. You have to send an email like Eric sent. Isn't it funny that Eric sent an email to 10 people, and the only 2 people that he said that had actual big credits were me and Tim Palmer, and we're the only 2 people that responded? What else does that teach you? So, Tone Tobby Cab, JMP 50 watt, Noble ODR1, and Echo Tone. Those are the secret things. Yes, be humble. There is definitely power in humility. I agree, absolutely. Huge fan of this guitar. I'll keep going on about it, the Rev Star. What am I doing? I am playing some guitar, and we're talking about being humble. We're talking about dreaming big, because you will not, even if you end up like just making a living doing music, producing, engineering local bands, you're not going to get that. You're not going to get that level of success from aiming at that place. You need to aim as high as you possibly can. And I was telling you humbly, and no disrespect to my family, I grew up with, God, there's some stuff I could tell you. When I was a kid, the Action Men, and remember the Bionic Man in England, in Britain, was really, really popular over there. My parents couldn't afford to buy me a Bionic Man, so they bought me this like Taiwanese rip-off of it, which sort of fell apart within about 2 days. And I was like the butt of every kid at school, so I wouldn't take my Bionic Man ripoff to school. So I took it there one day and everybody made fun of me. My parents would buy me sandals to wear rather than shoes because they were half the price. So you would go in and you'd get like the shoes from Clark's were maybe £15 and the sandals were £7. So I would wear sandals to school. And I remember like all the kids at school would tease me and say that I was wearing Jesus boots, they call it. They go, oh, you're wearing Jesus boots. And that would be, you know, not that anybody who believes in God would be offended by that, but you understand the point. And that's what I grew up like. And when I went to play rugby, because I really wanted to play rugby, because I grew up loving rugby and cricket, my dad gave me his football boots, or cleats as Americans call them, but football boots. However, Google a picture of what 1950 boots look like, and think about what a 1980 and think about that in 1980s, late 70s, early 80s, what that looked like. So I wore my dad's 1950 shoes, boots. You know, I was always the poor kid. I was always teased. You know, I was always, you know, we cut our own hair. We didn't go to hairdressers, you know. It was just the way it was. So when I hear people, and I'm sorry I sounded annoyed at the beginning of the video, but when I hear people saying, you know, you shouldn't dream big, you're not special, you know what? Those are people that probably had mummies and daddies' money to help them. And I don't mind if you have mummies and daddies' money to help you, because I do pretty well, and I want to keep my kids, give them all the opportunities in the world. But I always want them to remember that they have to be humble and they have to work hard, because that's the way it is. And I was lucky to have parents that were humble and hardworking, mixed in with a passion and a love for music and art. I'm not working on a solo stuff. I wish I was, because I haven't dug the vocals quite frankly. I think some of the problems and this is a good topic of discussion we were talking about earlier. The problems with a lot of people that are building tracks in the, thank you ever so much. I really appreciate it, Everything Music. You know, the problem for a lot of people up and coming building tracks uniquely in the box is it's really, really good, but you need to have to learn the skills of vocal recordings and comping and get your ear up on that level. So, you know, if nothing else, watch all the vocal kind of recording, mixing and trips videos. I do write a lot of songs. I wrote a song that is Marc Broussard's, I think it's Marc Broussard's most successful song, or his second most successful song. Maybe Matt can find that. I don't think they'll let Spotify us post on YouTube. Let's check it out. My wife texted me yesterday from the supermarket. Actually, she called and said, my song's playing. Yeah, it's called we changed the name for him. It was Perfect to Me. Yeah, Perfect to Me is what it's yeah, it's his second biggest song. It's the third track off. I produced it, I wrote it. In fact, I'd basically produced the track and then he came in and sang on it. It's called it's from the album The Life Worth Living, and the song's called Perfect to Me. I don't know if it can play. There you go. Can you hear this? Somebody give me the thumbs up. Can you hear this? Your laugh, your smile.
breathless, leave me breathless.
Spotify links up.
I can hardly wait to be a man. Best I can, sing your songs to make you dance. I'll be the fool who takes the chance to end up next to you. Wouldn't change a thing. T-shirt and cut off jeans, from your head down to your feet. You're perfect to me. The way you tie your hair, the way you just don't care. You're perfect to me.
Thanks, Jonas.
From your head down to your feet.
So yeah, please, Matt just put the link up. Do me a favor to go check out the song. You know, I don't think I've ever been paid a check from it. But it looks like it's up at like one or two million plays. Yeah, he's got a wonderful voice. I haven't really got to try UAD plugins much. I use so many of the others. I think they did contact me. They contacted me a year or two ago, but then the guy that was talking to me like flaked out on a meeting that we had scheduled for a couple of weeks, like an hour beforehand or something like that. So my guess is they're just really busy and they have a lot of endorsees and they're not. So, you know, what can I say? It's like we have great support from Mac DSP. We have great support from Waves. Stephen Slate's always been really, really generous to us. There's just really good companies that care about the interaction. You know, Waves were always considered to be like the big bad evil empire. To be honest, they've been so humble and generous with us. They let us know when there's on the sales on in advance. They give us stuff to try out for free. And Mac DSP the same. Colin McDowell is a wonderful, wonderful guy. You know, it's like these are really, it's just that. It's about, you know, this is a community, as you know. You know, Produce Like a Pro is a community of people. We're all here to help each other. So when you get companies that understand the feeling of community, it's really important. Yeah, I want to do another one with Steve. We've been working on a track. I just haven't had enough time to finish it. That I mixed only using Steven's plugins, and it's going to be phenomenal. You also get the mix to play with. You're going to get everything. So I apologize that I'm behind in that. I just haven't had the time to finish it because I've been so slammed with the commitments with YouTube, the commitments with the Produce Like a Pro Academy, and the fact that I make and record albums every single day. You know, it's really, really hectic. And we have a publishing company. We're trying to upload all our stuff to John Skinner's site, Music Gateway. That's just scratching the surface. Obviously, you're designing hardware, you know it. Everything, so much great stuff. So please, if you haven't already, go and join the Academy. I'd love to see you in there. Yeah, life gets in the, what's the John Lennon quote? Life gets in the way while you're busy. Life happens while you're busy making plans. Is that what it is? I'd love a Waves thing. I love all these. Oh, and sorry, and I've got to mention IK Multimedia, another great company. What's great about these companies, about Waves, Slate, Mac DSP, and IK Multimedia, those particular companies that we've had great stuff going with, is they all work together. Not one of them has ever been like, oh, if you feature our plugin, you can't feature something else. They've been really receptive. They all respond immediately. In fact, I owe IK an email from like 4 or 5 days ago. I'm very sorry, Dave. You know, we're just overwhelmed with work and stuff, but these are all really, really good companies. They work in harmony together. Every professional that I know uses all of those companies' work. They're just really good people. And I think anybody that's like up for collaborating and working with us and working with our community is just good people. Oh, great question. So did I start by interning? No, I didn't intern. I started with, you know, 4-track cassette. In fact, I started with 2 cassette players, then a 4-track cassette player, then ADATs. Then from ADATs, I moved into, and also I worked with some friends who had a studio with a 1-inch 24. That was a Tascam MSR 24. Anybody remembers that, with DBX noise reduction on it? And we made records on that. And then I moved to eventually, when I came over here, I had another ADAT system in the mid-90s, and then eventually, later in the 90s, mid-late 90s, I started on Pro Tools. I want to say it was 3.8 when I started. Doing my first major live gig. Let's read your comment. I'm really sorry. So, did you call Eric?
Yeah.
Did you call Adam and let him know?
I couldn't find the number. I emailed both Gail and Adam though.
I mean, it's just gateway mastering.
Oh, all right. Let me look that up.
I mean, if you look at the email you sent, it's gateway mastering, and it's Gail at Gateway. So just look up gateway mastering, and then give him a call.
Gotcha.
Who designed the studio? Actually, the predecessor, Chad Fisher, did, and hence the bass traps up in the ceiling up here. There's also like these big circular bass traps in corners in there. So that was all done. The ceiling's vaulted in the live room. Did what else to still give you goosebumps? Oh, thank you. You might take me back to my earlier thing that I was going to talk about. Art to still give me goosebumps. Anything that hit me when I was a kid. So anything that influenced me when I was a child still does the same thing to me. There are a handful of Queen songs that bring me to tears. Love of My Life will bring me to tears every single time. Pretty much anything on Night at the Opera. Hey Justin, and for those that you haven't already, could you please like and share? Yeah. See what Paul's saying there, yeah. Yeah, I played everything on that track, thanks. What was I saying? Oh yeah, Paul was just touching on Bowie, yes. Hey Martin. Or if Martin, are you Martine? I want to pronounce your name right. What gauge strings do you have on that guitar? It's 10 to 52s. 10 to 52s. That's my standard gauge, 10 to 52s. Always frustrates. I don't know if there really is a loudness war in mastering, because most of the mixes that are being given to people, here, there, and everywhere does that to me too. Please, everybody, like and share. If you haven't already, can you like and share it? Because that's the way that YouTube lets the world know we're on this. I should be. How do I deal with clients that don't know what they want? I mean, basically, just get them something that sounds amazing. If you get them something that sounds really, really good, then that is all they need. That's really all they need. Hey, Stu. Hey, everybody. It's thanks for all the Academy members on there. Tube amp sounds good. Yeah, we have Marshall JMP. I've been, obviously I use that, the Yamaha THR. Who's my favorite guitar player apart from Brian May? Well, there would have to be. Then a little of that. When he goes, he's there on the F on the D string. You know that? You just that. Anyway, yes, you're right. Jeff Beck, definitely by far. Just, whew, I mean, really, just an incredible guitar player. It's interesting. Brian May is my first and biggest guitar influence, but I have not spent ages learning how he plays guitar. There's a reverence to, he is the biggest inspiration to me. I almost, when I listen to his harmonies, the way he built stuff up, the imperfection and perfection in how he plays, it's so inspiring that I don't want to break it down. I hear it and everything. Jeff, on the other hand, because there's a lot of like just solo, like he does like lots of bend stuff. It's very inspiring to me, and I want to know exactly how I did it. Brian, I'm just kind of like, whoa. I don't have a Brian May guitar, a Red Special. I really should get one, but I agree. It is like speaking a language. That's the thing about Jeff Beck, is that his the way he uses the guitar. Love Jimmy Page. Yeah, Eddie Van Halen's incredible. The thing about Beck is like he uses it in a way where he can. I'm a huge Tony Iommi fan. Anybody that follows me knows that first Black Sabbath album, Frank Zappa. Yeah, I mean, you're talking about some of the most expressive and inventive guitar players ever. As much as I love being able to do all that stuff, it's the guys that favorite lyricists, all the obvious ones. The one that may not be obvious to you, but is definitely in my top 5 all time, is Joni Mitchell. Easily. I don't know if the album's called Hajira or Hajira or whatever, how you pronounce it. Or anyway, it's spelled Hejira. The lyrics, like on the song Coyote, you know, I love that lyric. You just picked up a hitcher, a prisoner of the white lines of the freeway. Picking up his scent on his fingers, you know, while he's watching the waitress's legs. I mean, that is such an amazing record, and she's such an incredible lyricist, Joni Mitchell. Then, of course, Dylan, Bob Dylan, and of course, you know, I love Freddie Mercury's lyrics, to be honest, and Brian May's. I'm totally out of tune. Paul Simon was great too. So said some little some blues there. Now I feel like in a whiskey in a dirty glass. Yeah, go do it. Break off the bottleneck and play some slide. So please like and share. Let's let other people on YouTube know we're here. I'm going to sign off in a few minutes. Buddy Guy was fantastic. Yeah, definitely. I still miss, but my aim's getting better. Do I still use the 24-track Studer? Not as often as we should. Let's see if we can go for some questions. How can I make someone sound good on cheap equipment? Easily. Just don't drive the mic pre's too hard if they're cheap. You know, as Matt McGlynn was talking about, if you keep your mic pre at about with 75% or less and don't drive it too hard, you'll get great results. Use your plugins to color it. Just don't drive it too hard. Favorite YouTube musicians? Yes, we were just talking about that. Adam Neely, we're a big fan of. Love this Yamaha, yeah. Would I trade my professional career with being a rock star? Oy, caramba. It's a tough one, isn't it? Because coming up my age group would have been a horrible time to be a rock star, wouldn't it? Horrible, 80s and 90s. You know what I mean? Maybe if it was all 10 years before, in the late 60s through the 70s, of course. Who wouldn't want to be Roger Waters? Who wouldn't want to be Dave Gilmour? Who wouldn't want to be Jimmy Page or Jeff Beck? That's that kind of rock star. You know what I mean? That would be incredible. But I don't know if I'd want to be in a big hair 80s band. I certainly wouldn't want to be in a grunge band. It's not because they weren't amazing in their own right, but it's just when you do like the top 10, hey Jeremy, when you do like the top 10 greatest rock bands of all time, none of those bands make it into that list. And they didn't have, their careers were so like finite. The grunge bands were sort of like 90s only. And then, you know, and there's no Limp Bizkit in there. You know, there's none of those kind of stuff. So it's a tough one. And I don't think it's going to change. Yeah, but AC/DC are a 70s band. Maybe you're too young to remember, Anne, but this is... No, I wouldn't trade it for this for Trent Reznor. No, I wouldn't. Did I watch vinyl? Yes, I did. But what's interesting, of course, is I'm good friends with Jack Douglas, who you know, recorded the New York Dolls, and was in that scene and was worked at the record plant and worked on all the sort of albums that were implied. He did, you know, he worked with Patti Smith and, you know, all of those bands. And he said it just wasn't anything like that. He goes, it just wasn't like that. So I think vinyl was great, but it wasn't what the 70s was like in New York. That's just what he told me. It just wasn't like that. I'm home with Phil X. Let's do my Angus Young riffs. I remember being a kid and just watching him standing on top of a Marshall doing this. I remember him doing that, yeah, in the schoolboy shorts, like standing on top of the Marshall. And I just remember thinking, oh my gosh, This is just amazing, you know. Yeah. I don't know any UFO off the top of my head, Tim. I'm sorry. What about this, though? You know, or... I see the center every night, fall to the ground and I wake up. Anyway, since you've been gone, yeah. All right, one last shout out. Please like and share. See if we can get this these numbers up here, and let everybody know we're here. Yeah, I love that album, Down to Earth. Please like and share, everybody. Everybody who's on here, thank you. If you're not already a member of the Academy, go and check it out, producelikeapro.com. Join us there, it's a lot of fun. Thanks, Tim. Thanks, everybody who's liking and sharing. I haven't met Graham, but I emailed with him. What was the question? Honest about the realistic answer. Do you enjoy stuff like animals as leaders and periphery? Yeah, love it all. What hair gel do I use? This is important stuff. I don't use any, can't you tell? Isn't that part of the problem? I'm getting a haircut tomorrow. Great live stream. Thank you ever so much. So please remember, you are actually special. You bring something unique to it. You need to draw on your experiences, your upbringing, your loves, your loss, everything you've done. Bring that to your music, to bring your own credibility. You are special. You are. That's what makes every artist unique. Draw on that in your art. Number one. Number two, dream big, aim high, and work hard. Don't let anybody tell you that you shouldn't dream big. Dream big. Nobody got to a mid-level successful career by aiming for mid-level success. They wanted the best. I wanted to be Brian May, and now I was on a recording. Let's have a look. Give me a second here. Can you see that? Everybody see that? Okay. Dum. Where's the credit lists? Gotta remember, this is Warren, young Warren, the guitar player. I don't know if you're going to be able to read it because it's on white on white. Can you read this? Can anybody read that? First of all, I mixed this record and co-produced a lot of it and recorded it. Eric actually got engineering. Okay, can you see it there? Can anybody read that? Can you read it? Are you watching?
I'm trying to send these files.
Okay. No, you can't read it. I'm sorry. Okay, it says, it's Emerald. It's a cover of Thin Lizzy. And it says, Ace Frehley, rhythm and lead guitar. Chris Wise, bass. Scott Coogan, drums. Warren Hewitt, harmony lead guitar / lead guitar. I'll read that one more time. Ace Frehley, rhythm and lead guitar. Warren Hewitt, harmony guitar / lead guitar. So young Warren, the kid, sitting in his shared bedroom, trying to learn to play the guitar at 15 years old. I didn't pick it up till I was 15. I left home at 16. Sitting there playing Santana riffs, like, you know, like doing, okay. Or, you know. Anyway, playing all that stuff as a kid, thinking like, oh, I really want to work with these guys. And then I move over to America. moved over to America. I worked my butt off, and here I am like 20 years ago. I don't know what happened to the video. Oh, the video quality's going because there's loads of files being sent. Sorry. Okay. Can you pause it just for 1 second so I can sign off?
Sorry, they're officially sent, so it's done.
Okay, so it should come back in a second. Eric was sending a bunch of files. Sorry, I'm all like... I'm all super pixelated. It's still pixelated, though. I don't know why it's still pixelated. Sorry, everybody. Anyway, so what was I saying? Oh, it's starting to return to normal, kind of. Anyway, thank you, everybody, for watching. Yeah, little Warren sitting there, 15 years old. Yeah, so I got to play guitar with Ace Frehley and Slash in here, in this room. Slash was there and Ace was there. Pretty amazing. So, blessed. Dream big. Work hard at this. You are special. It's not the camera quality, it's the fact that Eric was uploading files for mastering. All right, thank you ever so much. Time to make bad gear sound good. You can do it. So thank you ever so much, everybody. You all rock. Tim says, oh, Eric. Thanks, Eric, says Nick. I turned into max headroom. Yeah, sorry about that. If you haven't already, go and join the Academy. Try it out. It's insane. There's a lot of Academy members on here. So please go there. Try it out. It's a wonderful place. Thank you ever so much for tuning in. And have a marvelous time recording and mixing. And I'm getting a haircut tomorrow. Okay, see you later.